Distributed generation, also called on-site generation, dispersed generation, decentralized generation, decentralized energy, or distributed energy, generates electricity from many small energy sources. For example, SMUD, the Sacramento Municipal Utilities District, is the largest distributed utility solar energy system in the world. Distributed generation collects energy from many sources and may lower the impact on the environment while improving security of supply. Are you aware of successful blueprints of this method? And would you expand on this model or encourage it community by community? JL?
Okay, as far as a centralized energy supply, I actually have never really agreed with that. That's why the Mueller automobile came about, and that's a power source in itself. But once again, we're talking about, can it be allowed in its current form? With current form of government, they won't allow it. It's a tax-based issue. I personally agree or believe that everyone should be allowed to control their own energy consumption, their own energy supply, whether it's purchasing or having it parked in their garage. It's really not too much to ask, except when it comes to would the government allow you to run your own energy supply where you don't have to pay them taxes. Currently, they wouldn't allow that. Under me, yes, you do what you need to do and run your own power supply, whether you have a wind generator out in your front yard or on the roof of your house, or solar, or the Mueller automobile, which I don't care what it's branded under. I'd give the thing away if we could get it out to market. I hope that answers the question. That's the best I can do at the moment. Let's throw this at Harry and see what he has to say.
Harry, do you want to give us a 1-minute rebuttal to that?
Yes, certainly. I think distributed generation is an interesting concept. It's been around for a number of years. Its impact thus far has been small. I think you're going to have a mix of systems, but I personally favor, if you're going to mass produce 5 million wind machines, which is what I am advocating, I would want to put most of them out at sea, because that's the winds are much more intensive at sea. And if you put these systems, we call them wind ships, and they've been developed by naval architects and professors of engineering. And I have pictures of them on our website, incidentally. You put these systems out at sea, you get an added benefit of providing a vast sanctuary for the remaining fish and marine organisms that are being hunted into extinction because there's a complete and utter lack of regulation on the high seas as well. The other thing is the winds are twice as intense over the seas as they are over land, and that means the wind machine will put out more than 8 times more energy at sea than it will on land. That's a large-scale project, and I would favor having the U.S. Navy take the lead role in organizing those efforts, because that's the cheapest and most cost-effective way to do it.
All right, JL, you have 30 seconds to respond.
So I can't disagree with that. Marine-based wind generation is great, wave generation for power. That works. Harry should keep in mind, we do need to manufacture those products, and that would create that little bit of pollution that he is worried about. Of course, getting people back and forth to work, they've got to drive, not a problem. And in my world, everybody should be driving, getting to work, getting home.
Okay.
And I'm not disagreeing with Harry at all.
Harry, I want to clarify that. How would you get the power from the wind ships, as you call them, to land to where the people need it?
Yeah, that's the $64,000, or in this case, $1 trillion question. You make hydrogen, Judy. That's how you do it. Hydrogen is what makes wind and solar practical, because both the wind and the sun are intermittent resources that change from minute to minute. You can't depend on any of them. I can't tell you at all, nor can anyone else, is the wind going to be blowing tomorrow at this time? And oftentimes it blows in the middle of the night when you don't need the electricity at all. That's what the problems are. If you make hydrogen with that wind generated electricity, it doesn't matter if the wind is blowing in the middle of the night or not, because unlike electricity, you can store hydrogen efficiently, put it into a tanker truck or a pipeline or a ship at sea and send it to markets worldwide, just like you do gasoline and oil, with two very big differences. One, hydrogen never runs out. You'll never run out of hydrogen. And secondly, it is completely non-toxic and pollution-free. It is the only pollution-free energy option there is, period. So why are we wasting any time, money, and effort doing anything else? We should focus on the solar hydrogen economy like a laser beam. Every car, every power plant, every ship at sea, every airplane in the sky needs to be modified to use hydrogen as its primary fuel, and then you will have crystal clear air in Los Angeles and New York and Denver and Phoenix every day, even in rush hour traffic, because the air coming out of those internal combustion engines is actually cleaner than the air that goes in. That's how important the hydrogen variable is to this equation, and if it's not in your energy mix, what you are proposing is simply not going to work.
Okay, JL, do you want to respond to that? You can have up to a minute.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Can I take his minute and just make a couple points?
Yes, take a minute.
John keeps saying that you can't tax hydrogen for some reason. I don't know why John, why do you keep saying that? Why can't you tax hydrogen like you do gasoline or diesel?
Well, we don't want the government taxing it, for one thing. If you're generating yourself...
That's a separate issue. You're saying we can tax gasoline, but we can't tax hydrogen. Why is that?
No. I don't like the taxes being
but
thrown
we're taxing gasoline, right?
Yes, I don't like that idea. I don't like the government making,
the government's broke, right?
Roughly 90%.
The government's broke, correct?
Yeah, from overspending.
So don't we need to get some money in the government?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's a separate question. Actually, it's a good point, but it's totally a separate question. That's what's the government's role in society.
Well, no, it's not that, Judy. It's budget.
And budget.
Balanced budget.
But I think we'll get to that on another debate. So
they're connected, though.
Yeah, they totally are. Everything's connected.
Get in the solar hydrogen business, we balance the budget.
That's a nice way of looking at it. So getting back to my questions here, Harry, please explain cap and trade. Tell us whether you would revisit this program or not, and why.
I would. Cap and trade is a concoction of Wall Street. It's a way to drive up the price of energy and keep in the coal and oil business forever. It's a disaster. Cap and trade should not be pursued at all. The solar hydrogen economy is what needs to be focused on, not cap and trade. When John says you can't drive big engine cars, let me just explain something. The reason you have to make little tiny cars is because oil is running out. Hydrogen is not, and will never run out. You don't need to be driving around little tiny cars. You can drive big Hummers. The fact with hydrogen, bigger is better, and it's much safer than any gasoline or diesel fuel product if you ever get into an accident.
We love your hydrogen, but let me get back to today and today's society. I want you to explain cap and trade for a reason.
It's a Wall Street gimmick.
Okay, but explain it.
It's pollution credits from coal plants, for example, can be sold to investors, and it just encourages coal companies to stay in the coal business. It's a bad idea. We should listen to the National Academy of Sciences. When they say the Earth is being made uninhabitable, Judy, I take that seriously. Now, if you think you know or other people know more than the National Academy, I'd like to know who you are. But when they say the Earth is in the final stages of being made uninhabitable because of our addiction to oil and coal, that's all I need to hear. We shouldn't even be discussing this. We should be moving towards a simple solution which green plants on the Earth have been successfully using worldwide for 3 billion years.
Okay. JL, do you want to touch on cap and trade?
Cap and trade, to me, and in reality, is simply more government control. Big corporation control, transnational corporation, however you want to term it. It's just a big power grab to control the people, and the people that ultimately control the cap and trade are the people that control, are you ready for this, Judy?
Yeah.
The monetary system. It's the same usury game. It's the same control the people game. It's just a power grab. And Harry's taking off his jacket, so he's getting serious. But it's a power grab. Nothing more, nothing less. It means nothing. It would do nothing to help the economy, the pollution, or anything of that nature. And by the way, Harry, I would love to be running around in a 1967 Roadrunner with a 426 Hemi. I was just stating that we cannot afford it right now with the gas prices. They're shutting us down.
If we were on hydrogen, we could.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, we could convert that.
You don't depend on foreign countries with hydrogen. We're going to make it. You can make it in your home if you have electricity and water.
30 seconds.
I know. Remember the Mueller automobile?
I don't know about the Mueller automobile, but I know about BMW. I know about Mercedes-Benz. I know about Lockheed and General Dynamics, and they all say they can do it. Lockheed have their liquid hydrogen fueled airplanes well designed and ready to be built in the 1970s, and they couldn't get past the oil company lobbyists. That is the problem.
Yeah. Well, I was shut down by actually the U.S. Treasury Department and the U.S. Department of Justice. So it's a little closer to home.
I can't speak about your case, though, John, because I don't know anything about it.
I know.
Anything about the car you've developed.
Okay.
But I do know BMW, and most people know BMW.
Oh, yeah.
If BMW says they can mount, and they've been running fleets of hydrogen-fueled cars for 40 years,
I've seen them.
People
I've seen them.
generally go, oh, yeah, I guess we can do it.
All right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I've seen them in person. So